This meeting is now called to order. Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne.
Here.
Director Tripp.
Here.
Director Wilburn.
Here.
Director Waldrop.
Here.
President Shandy.
Here. The Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Director Tripp.
With liberty and justice for all.
At this time, let the record show that the public hearing for the 26-27 proposed budget is now open. Ms. Allen?
In compliance with state statute, a proposed budget for 26-27 was presented to the Board of Education on May 14th, 2026. The proposed budget was made available for inspection on the district's website and in person here at the EAC starting on May 15th, 2026. Legal notices of the proposed budget were published in local newspapers, and the 26-27 proposed budget will be considered for adoption at tonight's meeting.
Mr. Belcher, do we have anyone signed up to speak for the board this evening regarding the proposed fiscal year 26-27 budget?
We do not.
Well, that concludes the public hearing portion of our agenda. Okay. Hopefully the rest of the meeting won't go this fast. All right, there is a budget discussion later in the meeting at which board members may comment about the proposed 26-27 budget. Ms. Hatfield, are there any updates to the agenda?
Yes, and the board has been made aware.
Members of the board, are there any items you wish to move from the consent agenda? Are there any discussion items to be added to the agenda? May we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second. Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne.
Aye.
Director Tripp.
Aye.
Director Wilburn.
Aye.
Director Waldrop.
Aye.
President Shandy.
Aye. All right, I'm going to start off board comments tonight. I'd like to highlight a very special person. Tonight is Colonel Herndon's last night. And with that, I just want to say a few things. We want to recognize Colonel Herndon, who will be relocating in the coming weeks, and this will be his final meeting, as I said, as the Board of Education Air Force Academy liaison. Colonel Herndon, on behalf of the Board of Education, we want to thank you and all your partners at the Air Force Academy for your collaboration, dedication, and partnership. You have been such a welcoming and uplifting presence with our board, and you have helped strengthen our work over the past year. Can't say thank you enough. From the holiday concert to your collaboration with our team through many military affiliated celebrations and events, we have much to be grateful for with you. We wish you the very best, and we thank you for your service, your time, your commitment, and your sacrifices to be here. I believe Interim Superintendent Dr. Field has some comments she would like to share as well.
I do, thank you. Colonel Herndon, excuse me, it will come as no surprise to you to hear just how much we value our partnership with the United States Air Force Academy. Your service to our country and to this district has set a high bar and helped create a clear path forward for our continued collaboration. Your partnership over the past year has not always been visible to the public, so I want to share a few behind the scenes highlights. Some members of our community may know this, but leading up to potential snow days, we closely collaborate with the United States Air Force Academy regarding installation status, conditions, and operational impacts as we make decisions for our schools and for our families. We also have major projects underway that highlight the strength of this partnership. We have worked carefully with you and your leadership on our Douglas Valley Elementary School and Air Academy High School projects through the public schools on military installations program. And as always, we collaborate on emergency planning, school operations, installation access, and more. Thank you for our your close partnership, for your steady presence, and for setting such a strong example for us to follow in the years ahead. We are grateful for your service to our country and to the Academy and to Academy School District 20. Thank you.
Vice President Payne, would you like to have any board comments?
I just want to thank you because you're always a phone call away, and the relationships that we've all developed. It's been wonderful to have the sidebar conversations, but be at all these events with you. And we're so proud and honored to have you representing the district and being here at all these meetings. So we only wish you the best, and we're still going to only be a phone call away. So thank you for everything.
Director Waldrop, you have any comments?
I do. First, Colonel Herndon, thank you for everything you've done, and I wish you all the best as you move forward. I know it's going to be great and wonderful things, and you're a true asset to the United States. So, also, I think everyone knows I come from a military background myself, and my military background taught me that leadership begins with character, discipline, and adherence to core values. In the Army, values such as loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage are not abstract ideals. They are standards that guide conduct, accountability, and decision-making. Those principles shape my belief that individuals in positions of public trust must exercise restraint, professionalism, and impartiality. For that reason, I'm concerned when officials in education settings where those individuals are principals or others use those official positions in that official capacity to advocate for politically charged viewpoints. Public schools and school boards serve diverse communities, and their leaders should remain focused on education, policy, lawful governance, and the development of student character rather than political activism. When personal ideology appears to influence official conduct, it can undermine public confidence and distract from the central mission of the district. In my view, professionalism requires that personal beliefs be set aside in official settings. In the military, we kind of have a mantra that we leave our personal beliefs and politics at the door. I believe that that same essence and values and ethos apply equally to the professionals in our schools. Those entrusted with shaping school culture and influencing students should model fairness, sound judgment, respect for the law, and commitment to institutional values. The education of our children ought to be politically neutral and focus on academic excellence and development of character. Educational leadership carries significant responsibility, and that responsibility should always be exercised in a manner that strengthens trust, preserves integrity, and supports the development of good character in students. As I sit on this board, I will remain focused on academic excellence, accountability, and political neutrality. I will not waver in my commitment to that promise. I hope to see our schools focus on those values as well as we continue to move forward.
Thank you, Director Waldrop. Director Wilburn?
There's really nothing to be said that hasn't been said, other than it's just been a pleasure to get to know your brother. Whether bumping into you at ball games or working together on board stuff, it's been a great year or two or whatever it's been. Best of luck. Now that you're going to go to work directly for somebody with stars on their shoulders, don't forget us little people. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Director Wilburn. Director Tripp?
So at 6 a.m. this morning, the grinding drone of a Piper Super Cub asserted itself over the morning bird song that was floating in through my open window. They do start early in the summer to avoid the heat, but especially the afternoon thunderstorms. And my daughter always said that she knew it was going to be a good day when she heard those planes flying. Now, while I may occasionally grumble at the 6 a.m. noise, I actually thrill when the F-16 Thunderbirds buzz my house in preparation for graduation. And as my neighbors, many of them say, that is the sound of freedom. So as the 4th of July approaches, I've been thinking about our country, the ideals that we celebrate, and what it asks of us. Colonel Herndon's a great example of that. And it's been such an honor to have you and your soon-to-be successor as special members of our school board. Thank you for your service and for your support of this board. And we will miss you and wish you all the best of luck in the cave in the mountain. In the 23 years of my husband's military service, I have been humbled to watch so many families like yours, Director Waldrop, that send their loved ones away in service of our country, hearts in their throats, but strength in their souls. And those loved ones have sought to preserve our founding freedoms and rights and to encourage them in others. We honor that spirit with our national anthem, which celebrates endurance and victory despite hardship. But we also have America the Beautiful, sort of a dueling anthem, inspired by the view from our very own Pikes Peak, a hymn that urges us to nobleness and pleads for God's protection and guidance. Now, collectively and individually, we have not always upheld those ideals. We've sometimes fallen short of the ideals expressed by our anthems and established in our inspired founding documents. But what a privilege it is to live in this United States of America, a country unique in all the world, and I've been to a few of them, full of remarkable people and extraordinary achievements. It's vital that we help our children treasure their inheritance and equip them with the knowledge and the character to carry America's best ideals forward. So with that in mind, I look forward to this upcoming school year celebrations of our 250th anniversary and also the 152nd anniversary of our own unique district. So everyone have a happy 4th when we get there. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Director Tripp. Dr. Field, I think you have an update for us.
Yes, I do. I have a quick update. Got it. Thank you very much. Okay, so I have a quick update this evening. This was taken on the last day of school or the day before the last day of school, but a lot of activities occur during this week with a lot of continuations and celebrations. This is Miss Veronica Lehman. She is the principal at DCC Middle School, and this was at the 8th grade continuation. We recently had, I think about a week and a half ago, a cabinet retreat. It was very fun. We were out at School in the Woods. The picture on the left side is the core cabinet team with, and the picture on the right side is with our principal representatives. So we have principal representatives from this past school year and then our coming school year. So like I said, the school retreat took place outdoors at School in the Woods and was facilitated by Administrator Patrick Perry. Amazing. Throughout the day, Cabinet engaged in a variety of team building activities designed to strengthen collaboration, problem solving, communication, and critical thinking skills. One memorable challenge involved constructing a self-supporting bridge over water. It was fake water, using only wood and without nails or screws. To test this strength, Becky Allen stood on top of the completed bridge and it held. Participants also enjoyed a Colorado trivia game and a hike to the pond. The retreat provided a valuable opportunity for leaders to connect, collaborate, and strengthen relationships in a unique learning environment. And if you've never been to School in the Woods, put it on your calendar and go out and visit. So Summer Institute, our annual Summer Institute is almost complete, with tomorrow marking the final day. This year, staff participated in over 80 sessions, including PLC training on responding to student data, with a focus on extensions and training on a behavior intervention support system. Also, School in the Woods principal actually, Patrick Perry, taught best practices for teaching outside class, which you can see in these pictures. A huge thank you to Dr. Jeremy Koselak, Director for Professional Learning, and his team for organizing another successful institute. Summer Institute runs from May 27th through June 12th and provides valuable learning opportunities for our staff across the district. Speaking of staff development, this summer we had a trainer in from Solution Tree, who is our partner for professional learning communities. We had many participants in our common formative assessment training. We had all kinds of principals, teachers, and support team there. So thanks for everybody who participated. And then finally, we have I wanted to highlight a Challenger Middle School teacher. Congratulations to Miss Melissa Lovell. She's a social studies teacher at Challenger Middle School for being named the Outstanding American History Teacher of the Year for the Zebulon Pike chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution. This award honors notable full-time teachers of history in public, private, and parochial schools, grades 5 through 12. So congratulations to Melissa. And that's all I have this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Field. Tonight we have 6 new administrators to approve. Mr. Smart, would you please make the introductions?
Yeah, but I can't count. I think it's 7.
That's what I
It's
thought. but you told
summertime.
me
It's summer.
6.
I know it's summer.
I-
Almost summertime.
Okay,
Sorry.
all right,
All
I'll give
right.
you a pass.
Speaking of summer, so since it's getting time for summer vacations, I decided to ask our new administrators what would be their dream summer vacation. So I'm going to share those with you tonight, but I realized that I have set the bar too low for my vacations based on what these people are going to do. And so I feel a little embarrassed about that. Oh, well. Okay, so our first administrator is not here tonight because she's on vacation, spending time with her family. Erica Ramirez is being recommended for the assistant principal position at Aspen Valley High School. Her dream summer vacation would be escaping to the mountains of Montana with her entire family, including parents, siblings, husband, son, nephew, twin nieces. And I tell you, that sounds like a movie plot. I'm just saying, it sounds like something happened there. But they would spend their days exploring alpine lakes, mountain streams surrounded by mountain peaks and fresh air. And they would also have some exciting mini side quests to explore the nearby national parks. Erica earned a Bachelor of Science in Education from Drake University and a Master of Arts in Education from the University of Northern Iowa, and she has served as a social studies teacher, at-risk coordinator, school improvement leader, and currently serves as the assistant principal at Welt Big Picture School in D8. And it is my pleasure to recommend her tonight as the assistant principal for Aspen Valley High School. So we'll just give her a little cheer since she's not here. Okay. Now, I will tell you, I did see, it looked like some pep squads or something. I mean, we have a lot of people out there wearing a lot of the same shirts and pom-poms out there, so it might get a little loud in here. Our next administrator is Lauren Leary. Did I say that right, Lauren Leary? You can go ahead and come up while I'm talking about you. She's being recommended for the position of assistant principal for Timberview Middle School, and her dream summer vacation would be to take her children to the south of France, where she taught English during a summer of her graduate program. She would love for them to walk the same streets, experience the warmth of the local communities, and gain an appreciation for the way of life, a way of life different from their own. And she would hope that they would explore local markets instead of be on their phone, taste traditional French cuisine, and hear the language spoken around them, and discover how culture is reflected in everyday life. And since her sons are avid swimmers, she would love to spend the sunny days along the Mediterranean coastline with them. I mean, does it get any better than that? Really? Come on. I was thinking Barstow, California would be great. No. Okay, if you've ever been there, it's not great. Anyways, Lauren earned a Bachelor of Arts in Secondary Education and History and a Master of Arts in Teaching English to speakers of other languages, and another Master of Education in Educational Leadership from all of these from the University of Colorado Springs. And she also played softball for UCCS, right? Yeah, we talked about that in your interview. I think, what is your favorite pitch again? Yeah, I said the rise ball is my favorite, but okay. Lauren previously taught BE, AVID, Social Studies, and served as curriculum coordinator. She currently serves as Dean of Students and Truancy Administrator, sounds like a fun job, at Sand Creek High School in D49. It is my pleasure to recommend Lauren for the assistant principal position at Timberview Middle School. And Lauren, is there anything you'd like to say?
Yes, thank you. Good evening.
Yeah.
It is, okay,
Just
just
got to get a
checking.
little closer.
Okay, we'll be
There you
real
go.
close. Good evening, members of the District 20 Board of Education and Superintendent. I want to sincerely thank you for the opportunity to join the Timberview Middle School as the new assistant principal and athletic director. It is truly an honor to become such a part of an outstanding school and community. I cannot wait to serve alongside the incredible staff at TMS and build some meaningful relationships with our students and families and contribute to the already wonderful culture that already exists there. I'm excited to join their pack and begin the chapter together alongside the rest of you. Thank you for your trust and your confidence, and I am looking forward to seeing you often.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lauren. All right. Our next administrator is Chad colors. And he could not be here as well because he's on vacation visiting family in England. What? So he said, hey, if I had a summer vacation dream other than going to England, he says, I'd want to do things outside of England, like go to other European countries and their beaches and culture and have amazing food and all those things. And so I'm like, Chad, stop talking. Chad earned a Bachelor of Science in Exercise and Sports Science from the University of Utah and a Master of Education in Educational Leadership, also from there. And he previously served as a PE teacher, Dean of Students, SPED teacher, and middle school assistant principal. And he currently serves as the K-3 assistant principal at Rocky Mountain Classical Academy in D49. And again, it is my pleasure to recommend Chad as the assistant principal of Timberview Middle School. Round of applause. It's like midnight there because it's like 7 hours ahead, so he's probably asleep. Our next administrator is Tiffany Hopkins, who is being recommended for the position of assistant principal at Antelope Trails Elementary School. She is joined this evening by her spouse, Corey, and her daughter, Izzy. And her dream summer vacation would be to explore somewhere new near the water and discover the local cuisine and wander through the markets and poke around some local bookstores. She earned her Bachelor of Science in Elementary Education from Concordia University and a Master of Science in Education Leadership from Western Governors University. And she has previously served as an elementary teacher, preschool lead teacher, music, art, and PE teacher all at the same time. Music, art, PE? Whoa, awesome. And currently serves as the Dean of Students and Instructional Coach at Lewis Palmer Elementary School in D38. And it's my pleasure to recommend Tiffany for the position of Assistant Principal at Antelope Trails Elementary School. Anything you'd like to say?
Thank you. Good evening. I am deeply grateful for this opportunity to serve our students and our community as an assistant principal, and I'm looking forward to bringing my passion for education and student success to this role every single day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Our next administrator is Robin Berenger, who is being recommended for the position of assistant principal at Chinook Trail Elementary School. And her dream summer vacation would be to charter a private yacht in the Mediterranean. And yes, she says, I've been watching Below Deck. Okay. I don't know what about that is. Robin earned a Bachelor of Arts in Education from Regis University and a Master of Education, Educational Administration from Grand Canyon University. And she's also served as an elementary teacher, library technology educator, Dean of Students, and assistant principal. And she currently serves as the assistant principal at Meridian Ranch Elementary School in D49. You're seeing a theme here, I think. It is my pleasure to recommend Robin as the assistant principal of Chinook Trail Elementary School. Is there anything you'd like to say?
I would say thank you for tonight and being here and welcoming me. And I am honored to be a part of Academy District 20. I spent some time in some of the big districts in Colorado Springs, and I have finally found my way home to the best one. So I just want to say thank you. And I appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. Yeah, I feel we may get a few cheers on this next one. I think there's a lot of people back there. Our next administrator is Devon Johnson, who is being recommended for the position of principal at Encompass Heights Elementary School. Is that all the people in the red shirts back there? All right, just checking. Okay. And she is joined this evening by her spouse, Mark. And Devon's dream summer vacation would be a calm, scenic mountain retreat. She says it's the ideal environment for her to recharge by hitting the trails for a run, diving into a great book, and simply enjoying the stillness of nature. Most importantly, it's a wonderful opportunity to unplug, play games, and enjoy quality, uninterrupted time with her family. Great. Devon earned a Bachelor of Arts in Music from Western State College and a Master of Arts in Elementary Education from the University of Northern Colorado. And she has previously served as an elementary teacher, homeschool enrichment principal, curriculum coordinator, and most recently served as the principal at Lewis Palmer Elementary School in D38. And it's my pleasure to recommend Devon for the principal position at Encompass Heights Elementary School. Devon, is there anything you'd like to say?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me this evening. Thank you, Dr. Field, Ms. Killingsworth, Mr. Smart, Dr. Harris, the school board, and of course the Husky Pack for bringing me here this evening. So thank you. I have been so impressed so far with the professionalism, the kindness, the warm welcome I have received. It has been just wonderful. I have heard so many amazing things from District 20 over the years, and I appreciate its excellence, and I'm so excited to be a part of it. I look forward to working together. I look forward to partnering and helping our students move forward and be successful, and I am just thrilled to be the new principal at Encompass Heights. So at that point, I'll say go Huskies.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, and next I will be introducing Julie Casano, who's being recommended for the position of Director for Student Support Services. Julie is joined this evening by her spouse, Joanne, who's a teacher at Air Academy High School, and her son, Lincoln, who is a Foothills Falcon. What grade's Lincoln in? Is he kindergarten this year? First grade. First grade, yes, he's super exciting. Her dream summer vacation, okay, you got to listen to this one. I was like, oh boy, here we go, would be to travel to Copenhagen, Denmark. I thought first that's where they make this stuff in the can, but it's not. I just want you to know it's not. Her family loves how bikeable the city is, and they have a place called Reffin Street Food where they have delicious food from around the world. Hopefully they have pizza there.
They do.
Yes, and she says they'd probably just spend most of their time there hanging out. Julie earned a Bachelor of Arts in Information Science and Technology and a Master of Science in Information Science with an emphasis in Library and Information Services / School Media, both from the University of Albany. And Julie has previously served as a school librarian, a media specialist, building technology coordinator, dean of students, TOSA for assessment, and assistant principal, and currently serves as the principal for Foothills Elementary School. And it is my pleasure to recommend Julie tonight for the Director for Student Support Services position. Julie, anything you'd like to say?
Well, you give me a microphone, Mr. Smart. You know I'm going to take the opportunity to talk. To the Board of Education, Dr. Field and Dr. Harris, thank you for the opportunity to serve Academy District 20 in this new role. I'd also just like to take a moment to thank Academy District 20 for continually believing in me and providing opportunities for growth throughout my career. When I was a 22-year-old recent graduate interviewing over the phone, that was like before Microsoft Teams, you took a chance on me. When the state assessment system underwent significant changes, Ms. Allen trusted me with the opportunity to serve in learning services and support assessment work. Foothills Elementary took a chance on an educator whose experience had been entirely in secondary schools. And now to the Learning Services team, thank you for your confidence in me, for taking another chance on me, and for welcoming me back to Learning Services. To the Foothills Elementary community, you shine in every way imaginable. Your commitment to relationships, high level of learning, and protecting the strong sense of community that makes Foothills so special is truly remarkable. Every one of you contributes to the culture and success of this school, and I have no doubt that you will continue to do incredible things for students and families. You are what makes it a great day to be a Foothills Falcon. Thank you to Joanne and Lincoln for always supporting my goals, ambitions, and drive. Lincoln, serving as your principal during your kindergarten year was one of the great joys of my life. Don't tell the other 400 students, but you'll always be my favorite Falcon. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that's all I got for now.
Thank you, Mr. Smart. All right, we need a motion to approve the consent agenda as posted.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne,
Aye.
Director Tripp,
Aye.
Director Wilburn,
Aye.
Director Waldrop,
Aye.
President Shandy.
Aye. There are 24 people watching the live stream right now. We're going to take a 10-minute break for a picture of Colonel Herndon and to transition the room. Thank you. 2-minute warning. Please find your seats. Please find your seats. Thank you. It's always incredibly inspiring to begin our meeting by celebrating the hard work and achievements of our D20 students, faculty, and staff. Now we transition into the business portion of our meeting, a time for thoughtful discussion and decision-making. Out of respect for this focus, we ask that the applause be held during this part of the session as we shift our attention to the important work ahead. Thank you so much. There are no items pulled from the consent agenda. That brings us to our written reports. First report up is the monthly financial report through August 2026. Does anyone have any comments or questions? April, where did I say? August, April. It's all the same right now. April, monthly financial report through April 2026. No questions. Second semester 2025-2026 expulsion report. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Director Wilburn.
So the general public, I mean, generally speaking, you can't see those reports we can see, and certainly for something as delicate as expulsion, that's appropriate. But it's worth noting, I think, that our big district, as everybody knows, 26,000 students, and our expulsion report for this past semester was minuscule. Really only one. That in a district this large, I think it speaks well of our community, the families that make up our community, and the students that attend our schools, that in a district this size, we aren't seeing the high level of disciplinary action that I think other districts of our size typically do. So it's kind of a shout out to the community. It's very impressive, the job that our teachers do, that our administrations do, and certainly that our families in the district do.
Thank you, Director Wilburn. I appreciate you recognizing them. All right, moving on. Advisory Personnel Performance Evaluation Council report. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. Prairie Hills Elementary School branding package. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. 2026 summer projects overview. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Director Wilburn.
Who's here?
Dr. Field?
From facility. Are you going to do Dr. Field?
Or Miss Allen?
Yeah.
Okay, so you remember a couple of years ago, we had a very interesting discussion about elevators. Not many elevators in the district, but a few buildings have some. Then last year, we got kind of stalled because the company that did the work on the elevators had essentially packed up and left El Paso County. So just curious, who, are we using a different vendor now? How's that been addressed?
The good news is that the vendor relocated their factory and they're operational. In fact, we used them successfully a few times this past year, had some good, including the elevator here at the EAC. So that company's back up and running and we do not anticipate a delay for this summer work.
So they came back? Oh, cool. And Pine Creek overflow parking lot, it isn't really descriptive. What's being done there?
So if you can kind of picture the area between the tennis courts and the pool, there's what I would call grassland.
Yeah.
Well, just like at Rampart High School, we have more student drivers. My son would love to be a student driver already as 12. He already is telling me what car he wants. But very popular at Rampart, we needed to do an overflow parking lot and need the same. So right now, students have been parking in that area. And what we are going to do is basically rehabilitate that area and go ahead, smooth it out, put some gravel down, all of those pieces, some fencing, and make it a legitimate, if you will. It's not going to be asphalt, but something that's better for them to use as a parking lot. It's in that same area too where the bonfire is,
Yeah.
if that helps. So, you know, they'll have a pedestrian walkway, fencing, all of those pieces. So it will help with it will kind of formalize it and ensure that there's safe flow in and out.
Okay, so we're not paving it. And lastly, we're getting a new scoreboard at D20 Stadium. Just time, or the old one gets struck by lightning, or why are we doing that?
It's an upgrade.
Okay.
So Ron Alexander, the director, the district director for athletics, you know, school districts our size, many of these stadiums have video scoreboards. And so
Nice.
we are now going to have a video scoreboard. Now, it's a very ingenious way, though, that it's being funded. So it's about $250,000 for this scoreboard, another almost $20,000 just for the electrical for it. But what we are doing is Ron Alexander partnered with a company and we have advertisers who are going to advertise on this video board and it will pay over a 5-year period the cost of the scoreboard. So $0 to us. And now when we have events like, you know, the back to school rally for staff, we're going, I don't know if we'll have it for this year, but eventually we can start to use it almost like a Jumbotron. And so I know Ron and the athletic directors are excited about this opportunity, and I certainly appreciate the ingenuity that Mr. Alexander used to get it funded.
That's cool. Do they think it's going to be ready to go for football season? Any luck at all?
Pete or Mike, might you know that answer? Oh, okay. Shane works with Ron as well, and is saying it's looking good for that time period.
Cool.
As long as the electrical.
Thank you.
And I believe we already identified the vendor for that, so I'm hopeful that that will get done.
Thank you, Ms. Allen.
All right, annual monitoring report for executive limitations policy 2.5 asset protection. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Director Tripp.
So I had so many questions that thankfully Ms. Allen met with me and also Mr. Ristig met with me, and we spent, what, 30, 45 minutes almost, maybe an hour, going over this section. There are a lot of things in here, and because they deal with so many high-level, very expensive items and a lot of things that our community cares about, it was worth taking that time to do that. So I appreciate you taking that time to do that. A lot of the questions that I had revolve around how are we figuring out what needs work? How are we following up on that? How do we, you know, if a list is created at a building site for some kind of maintenance or whatever, where does that go? If there's a long-term plan, where is it? Who sees it? How do we identify what's at the top of it? So those kinds of things. In talking with Ms. Allen about that, she mentioned that they also were having some struggle keeping track of this very unwieldy situation. and that it is a challenge. And she shared with me a program that's being put in place, and I was really excited about it and wanted to, with your permission, President Shandy, I wanted her to just take 2 minutes or 1 minute or whatever it takes and just share with you about that before I have some other policy things that we want to talk about on this.
Absolutely, Ms. Allen.
So our current list is in Excel, and we have all of the projects. They have estimated costs associated with them. And we now have a committee in place where we bring all the PSSGs together, athletics, operations, finance, et cetera, to come together, IT, HR, to come together and analyze the list, see what is most pressing, make sure that the plans of capital reserve are ones that everybody agrees to. But we want to take things to the next level. And that means a more livable, breathable list that is smart enough to change when a boiler turns 11 years old. Well, 11 is now maybe a different part of its useful life, and that this system can track all of that information and grow and mark off when we have projects completed and reflect it. So we've been spending time, and Mr. Ristig and Mike Redmond and their teams put out an RFP and selected a vendor called Matrix, who's literally down the street. And it's an engineering-based evaluation of each one of our facilities. It will take about 18 months. It was just kicked off about 2 weeks ago. And so at the end of that journey, what we will have is a tool that knows the useful life of what's in there. We mark things in. We have something called School Dude, which is our work order system. When we complete that, it knows it in the system. It knows that a particular item is aging. We can easily sort it, print reports, all of those pieces. It is going to help us develop a more solid long-term plan that's financially sound, and to give us more criteria to really identify what are the most pressing needs at this time. So I really think it's going to enhance the work of this committee and enhance just the entire process of our maintenance of our facilities, especially with a limited budget. And should the board at some point want to move forward with looking at other revenue streams, whether that might be a mill levy override or a bond, we can easily then produce lists that show you exactly what our next projects are in the queue.
Thank you for sharing that. And I also wanted to mention this is a third party. So this is not in-house. So they have that additional external view on what's happening in the district and regarding these items. And so I think that adds some transparency and accountability as well. So I was really excited to learn about that. Looking through this 2.5, there are some interpretations. There's about 3 of them. You should have that on a paper that I handed to you. So there's about 3 areas where the interpretation as listed in their report only includes about really half of what the statement is. For example, in 2.5.7, the interpretation should include some statement about the non-interest bearing accounts, which the evidence and this interpretation does not include. Ms. Allen showed me a list of those accounts and what they're for and the interest that's in them. So that's great, but we should have that evidence in there since we've got that in the statute. Another one is 2.5.12. The statement references a long-range plan, which I don't think any of us have seen. And so again, a statement referring to a long-range plan should be a part of the interpretation, and then providing evidence of that. And that matrix data is going to go a long way towards doing that. 2.5.16, again, there's a sustainability long-range plan reference. I haven't seen that. I don't know if anybody else has seen the sustainability long-range plan. So what that plan is and what initiatives or savings were done as a result of that plan would be important to include in there. It also talks about a green team. So if we're spending time and money on a green team, I think we want to know how their efforts have impacted district sustainability within that year. So, you know, there's other few little things in there, but that's sort of the oversight. Overall, I felt like based on my discussion with Ms. Allen and Mr. Ristig, that we're doing a good job taking care of things in our district. I feel like we're really trying to use our money the best that we can and take care of things the best that we can. And so from a report standpoint, it's just closing the loop for us a little bit. You know, if there's an audit, what happens to the audit? Where does it go? Things like that.
Awesome. Thank you, Director Tripp. Director Wilburn?
Yes, it would help. But yeah, this report is a monster. Not necessarily a bad thing, but there's a couple of policies, and I sent you my questions. I'm not going to go over them all because we'll be here half the night. Kind of like Director Tripp, there's just a lot to digest. But there are a couple of policy provisions in there that I frankly I don't know what they are, or I haven't seen them before. What specifically is excess? I'm assuming excess liability is liability in excess of what our policies cover. Is that insurance for insurance kind of thing?
It is. So as an example, let's say our general liability insurance covers an event to $1 million. Let's say it's a $3 million issue. This excess liability policy, that original general liability is only going to cover you to 1 million. So that issue above that, then that is an insurance policy to cover you for excess liability.
So the excess, so it's less. It costs less.
It costs less. That's right. Instead of taking the general liability and moving it to a $5 million cap, you leave this at $1 million and get a second cheaper policy that still allows you to meet those needs over the 1 million.
Okay.
It's more fiscally sound.
That's what I thought. Okay. What specifically is pollution coverage? Do we have to have it? And if so, who mandates that we have it?
Well, we have it to go ahead and protect if there were to be a fuel spill. Let's say at the transportation office, there's fuel that comes out unexpectedly out of that fuel island. This would help to remediate that.
Okay.
We have used the pollution policy. We had some mercury in some flooring, and so it helped pay for that remediation for those projects. So that's why we have it. And that's the main purpose. And we pay about $15,000 a year for that policy. And I can tell you that when we had that flooring issue, it saved us about $250,000.
So money well spent.
Yes.
Okay. I share Director Tripp's questions about Green Team. There is mention in the report about a weekly communication to building managers from the district's facilities supervisor for custodial, environmental health, energy, sustainability, and safety officer. I wouldn't mind getting a look at that once in a while, a couple times a year, just to see what's being communicated.
An example, so each school has an independent audit by our facilities custodial lead team once a month. They have a checklist, they go through the school, and they see things going well, they see things not going well. So this, I've seen an example of this email, and it's the auditor, if you will, the lead person at the district office, district facilities next to where Challenger Middle School is. And they will send an email then to this particular building manager, and they'll include pictures. The one I looked at had about 15 pictures. Hey, you see this? You missed this here. Hey, you see this? Miss this there. So that is what we're trying to do. You talk about the audit and what happens. The audit happens. Communications like that go out with the pictures, with examples, with instructions. And then the next month, when this facilities lead goes back, they don't just say, oh, I just come in and start from a clean slate. They use that same checklist, but they also look back at the audit findings and ensure that there's progress being made. And if there's not, is it a training issue? Is it, I just don't want to do this issue? And we address what's happening to make the improvement occur.
That's really good. Really good. And lastly, buried in this report was one little line somewhere toward the end that said, external audit found no violations of GAAP. And that's in all of these. So to you and your team, and I praise you. We all praise you. Not a single violation in my 2.5 coming up on 3 years, not even one. And when you look at these budgets and audits and stuff, I mean, they're like that, some of them. And when you've got people buying pencils, I mean, all the way to people buying school buses, the opportunity to make an honest oversight and violate a principle, a gap is always there. We never have any of them. Thank you for that.
Thank you. And please, it goes to my team, not only in the business services side, but operations. You've got Pete and Mike here. Thank you for all your leadership and hard work. Kathy Watts, Tony, their hard work over in business and finance, they're exceptional. So thank you so much. It truly is the teammates. Thank you.
All right, no other questions, I believe. Okay, is the superintendent's interpretation of the policy reasonable? Director Tripp?
I would just like to see those clarifications that I spoke of earlier and that you have in place so that we have a more full interpretation.
Noted. Is there sufficient evidence to determine compliance for each section? Are all sections in compliance? Recognition of exemplary performance or concerns regarding performance? Director Wilburn, you just had one. No violation. Let me help you.
Thank you. No violations of gap.
I think that should
Which
be
absolutely should be recognized.
recognized. Very good. Would you like to see additional different evidence, or should any part of this policy be changed in the next monitoring report cycle, Director Tripp?
So again, that's in the documents that I already have.
Do you see any evidence which is extraneous or no longer necessary? No. All right, very good. Annual monitoring report for executive limitations, policy 2.10, district calendar. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Is the superintendent's interpretation of the policy reasonable? Or is there sufficient evidence to determine compliance for each section? Are all sections in compliance? Recognition of exemplary performance or concerns regarding performance? Would you like to see any additional different evidence, or should any part of this policy be changed in the next monitoring report cycle? Do you see any evidence which is extraneous or no longer necessary? Okay. Annual monitoring report for governance policy process policy 4.2, governing style and values. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Director Tripp.
Thank you. So reading over this one, there were a couple items that I'm proposing changes to. If you hop down to the statement that says the development of virtuous character, I think the last time this was put in, there was discussion about what kind of language that should include. Right now it says is equal in importance important. And it really needs to be either equal in importance or important, not all of those words. So my proposal is just to change it. The development of virtuous character is important to academic growth and so on. So that's one of the changes. The other one talks about every graduate must be fully prepared for the post-graduation path of his or her choice. I'm a big believer in agency, and we can't always force children to do the behaviors or do this work that prepares them adequately for whatever career path they may choose. So I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch to be as a goal. I'm proposing that we could maybe substitute every graduate must have the opportunity to be prepared. What they do with that opportunity is really up to them, or we just strike it altogether. So that's an idea. And then I just had a couple reflections, self-reflection, board reflection. We've got items like the Board of Education will be the initiator of board policy, not merely reacting. We've got our major policy focus will be on long-term benefits, not administrative programmatic means, and potential board candidates being oriented about board governance process. All of those things I feel like we're trying, we would like to do that, but maybe we're not doing such a great job. And so I just want to bring some awareness to those items so that we can continue to work for more excellence in that area. And then I had proposed at study session, maybe adding an additional monitoring so that we have 2 monitorings of that, just to kind of see how we're doing as we govern ourselves too.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you. I'm trying to make a note that we make sure at the end of the meeting, we add 4.2 to a future agenda. So, okay, I don't think there's any other questions. So is there sufficient evidence to determine compliance for each section? Are all sections in compliance? Recognition of exemplary performance or concerns regarding performance? Would you like to see any additional different evidence, or should any part of this policy be changed in the next monitoring report cycle? Director Tripp?
Yes, those items as I mentioned.
Noted. Did you see evidence which is extraneous or no longer necessary? Very good. Annual monitoring report for governance process policy 4.5, monitoring board governance process and board superintendent relationships. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Director Tripp.
So for this one, it kind of dovetailed into the 4.2, proposing changing that 4.2 from annual to biannual. And then also regarding the monitoring superintendent performance, and we're trying to monitor basically our 1.1s and 1.2s a little better, as we talked about at study session. So maybe looking at that 3 times where we're identifying what is it that we're doing, why are we doing that, how's it going, and kind of adjusting that a little bit as far as 1.1 and 1.2 goes.
Very good. Vice President Payne.
Just as we think about where there's room for improvement, part of what's been difficult sometimes is that we're operating on a year in arrear of goals and objectives established, sometimes even by a different board. Do we need to have a little more fluidity and strategic processing when those changes are made to be able to work together on what that looks like and make sure that we're all in clear communication, which would be a big adjustment based on this policy. But I do think that that's something strategically we should look at, or even with the people that we're bringing in to help us assess the district, or some of these. And I don't know what your thoughts are, Dr. Field, but I think it might be more fair if we just reasonably state that when there are those large transitions or change of leadership, even at the board level, that we come together and we revise and assess and make any modifications with and have agreement on that.
Dr. Field.
Yeah, so I would say that there are enduring goals that we'll always have. Like we will always focus on 3rd grade reading, right? Like that would be something we would always focus on. We want students to be prepared for life after high school. Those are things we will always focus on. But there are other things that do change when different superintendents come in.
Yes, I agree. So I don't know how we state that but if we can give that some thought, I think it would be important to make sure that that's in there.
Okay, Director Waldrop.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking along the same lines. If there's a way to, especially when we have a new board members come on, I think all of us have kind of much experienced that, where you kind of come in, you're like, drinking from a fire hose, trying to figure these things out. That there might be a way to have a review process right after a major, election or new people coming in, and so we get kind of up on speed, make sure things are on track. Doesn't feel like you're being held to a standard just watching this happen, as if you have no influence on it. Well, in a way that's fair too to the superintendent. So they're not coming in and they're kind of shifting, goalposts on in the middle of the season, but just, so I'd probably take a little bit of a thought process, think about how we might be able to achieve that to make it, work with the different, parties involved. So.
Okay, thank you. All right, is there sufficient evidence to determine compliance for each section? Are all sections in compliance? Recognition of exemplary performance or concerns regarding performance? Would you like to see any additional different evidence, or should any part of this policy be changed in the next monitoring report cycle? Director Tripp?
As noted.
Noted, thank you. Do you see any evidence which is extraneous or no longer necessary? All right. Monitoring report for governance process policy 4.7 board committee principles. Any questions or comments? Vice President Payne.
President Shandy, I have a couple for consideration for this board and Dr. Field. One, I really think that we need to add that the expectations and roles and responsibilities of those that are committee members. I would add language that committee members are expected to engage in collaborative, respectful, and solutions-oriented participation that supports the district mission, strategic priorities, governance structure, and effective partnership with district leadership, school communities, and the Board of Education. And that's one item, and I'm going to just give you 4. Committees established by the board shall provide written reports of findings, recommendations, and supporting evidence. Except where prohibited by law, committee work products shall be made available to the public to promote transparency and public confidence. The next one would be that administrative responses to board-directed committee recommendations shall include implementation plans, timelines, measurable outcomes, and periodic progress reports to the board. And last, information developed through board committees, assessments, audits, stakeholder engagement processes may be used to identify leadership competencies, district priorities, and organizational improvement needs for the superintendent, recruitment, selection, and evaluation. And I'd love to see if anybody has any thoughts on those.
Dr. Field, do you have any?
I think, when you talk about expectations, roles, responsibilities of committee members, especially when you're talking about board committees, I think it's always good to have guardrails and boundaries about expectations and norms for how we agree to work together. I think that always strengthens collaboration.
Vice President Payne.
One question I'd have with that is, do you feel like it's appropriate to have within 4.7? I mean, does everybody feel comfortable with it being in there? Because that's beyond board committees even. That's committees and other reports that are coming to this district. So I just wanted to make sure.
I think it's something we can definitely work through the next month before we have our next meeting and get legal counsel on. So, but I think it's great to bring up for discussion.
Thank you.
All right, is there sufficient evidence to determine compliance for each section? Are all sections in compliance? Recognition of exemplary performance or concerns regarding performance? Would you like to see additional different evidence, or should any part of this policy be changed in the next monitoring report cycle? Vice President Payne?
Yes, as stated prior.
Noted. Do you see any evidence which is extraneous or no longer necessary? Okay. Monitoring report for governance process policy. Oh, wait, sorry, just did that one. Monitoring report for governance process policy 4.9 board agenda planning. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Is there sufficient evidence to determine compliance? Oh, Vice President Payne.
Can you clarify, are you on 4.8 or 4.9?
4.8, I apologize.
Okay, just wanted.
Yes, let's just restart this. Monitoring report for governance process policy 4.8 board committee structure. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Vice President Payne.
President Shandy, I do. Thank you for that redo.
Thank you.
I have a couple changes on 4.8. 4.8 is largely the district accountability committee. A couple things that, well, I don't want to, there's only a few, but I do think that the purpose to change this policy of 4.8 is to recommend to the school board priorities for spending their purpose is for our spending of school district monies, advising the board concerning district and school district accreditation. And so those things are very specific. But when we look at membership, I think the superintendent's designee, as approved by the board, shall serve as a facilitator. Candidates for appointment as a school representative in DAC will be submitted annually by each school and will be approved by the board during a public meeting. That's my proposal of addition here. Is there any discussion on that? Nope.
Director Wilburn.
Could you read the end of that one more time?
Sure. Candidates for appointment as a school representative in DAC will be submitted annually by each school and will be approved by the board during a public meeting. That would be a change. Do I need to read what we're changing? Or just that's the proposed language, and the change would be, instead it used to read, members of the District Accountability Committee, DAC, shall be appointed by the Board of Education. The superintendent's designee shall serve as the facilitator. So I've just kind of modified the language therein.
Okay. Director Waldrop.
I was just thinking for us to approve those things. Hopefully we have like a standard process, some evaluative criteria for how that decision-making process is made. That way, when it's in the public, everyone can see that we're kind of following those guidelines.
Very good, thank you. Vice
And-
President Payne?
One more, on E, under that policy, expectations, representatives agree to sign an acknowledgement of committee expectations, collaboration standards, ethics, confidentiality expectations, and district mission alignment. All DAC members are expected to engage in collaborative, respectful, and solutions-oriented participation that supports the district mission, strategic priorities, governance structure, and effective partnership with district leadership, school communities, and the Board of Education. Failure to do so may constitute grounds for removal from DAC. This would clarify roles and responsibility, and that's the proposed language.
Very good, thank you. Is there sufficient evidence to determine compliance for each section? Are all sections in compliance? Recognition of exemplary performance or concerns regarding performance? Would you like to see any additional different evidence, or should any part of this policy be changed in the next monitoring report cycle? Vice President Payne?
Yes, as previously stated.
Noted. Did you see any evidence which is extraneous or no longer necessary? Thank you. Okay, now monitoring report for governance process policy 4.9, board agenda planning. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Okay. Is there sufficient evidence to determine compliance for each section? Are all sections in compliance? Recognition of exemplary performance or concerns regarding performance? Would you like to see any additional different evidence, or should any part of this policy be changed in the next monitoring report cycle? Do you see any evidence which is extraneous or no longer necessary? 2026-2027 Board of Education Agenda Planning Calendar. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
Yes.
Director Tripp.
So this is kind of where the adjustments to our own self-monitoring and some adjustments to the 1.1 and 1.2 monitoring would show up. And I'm proposing that in August, we basically have a discussion about 1.1 and 1.2, what those ends are, what the monitoring of them, what the interpretation of that is, and then what the monitoring of that would look like, and basically why that's a good way of monitoring those things, especially because we have portrait of a graduate competencies that are being potentially switched out and some other things like that. We've got kind of a reset with our amazing Dr. Field that we're working on. So just having a conversation about what that looks like right at the beginning of the school year, to me, makes a lot of sense. Then we're all on the same page. Then I would love personally to see a little check-in in December. How are we doing? How's that looking? How's that working? And then more of a final report on those items at the end of the school year, maybe June, where we can look at how we've kind of done over the course of the year. So, but what that really works out as from a administration standpoint to support those things, that's a discussion that we should have and work with you guys on. Additionally, adding 4.2 instead of once a year, which it's in April right now, to go ahead and push another 4.2 monitoring into maybe December, just again to see how we're doing on our own growth in that area.
Repeat the times again for me so I can make a note.
I'm thinking maybe December for 4.2 in addition to the April. And we could also put it on May, the 4.2 on May, to give us a full semester.
Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right. I don't think there's anybody else. 2026-2027 Board of Education liaison assignments. We switched some of those things around, or I switched some of those things around, but I think we're good to go. So, okay. No questions or comments. Administrative policy updates for the months of April and May 2026. Does anyone have any questions or comments? Director Tripp.
So I was looking at the JLDAC screening and testing of students. I did not understand a few items under exceptions to policy. Like we talk about exceptions for a journalism teacher. We talk about an exception for a health professional. We talk about making exceptions for clinical tests or book clubs or other programs. So to me, it feels like a lot of sort of strange exceptions to having to inform parents or have consent of parents for testing that's happening. Maybe I totally don't understand what this is addressing, but I don't understand those exceptions because it seems like a journalism teacher shouldn't have the ability to prevent a parent from hearing about assessments that are being done.
Can I explore that?
Dr.
I would
further?
love that.
Okay, and I'll get back to you. Can I explore that further with my
Yes.
team?
Yes.
Okay, that'd be fabulous.
Great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, that concludes our written reports, and we'll move on to presentations. We have the wonderful Miss Amy Atwood here tonight to do our end of legislative session report. Dr. Field.
And here she is, Mrs. Atwood.
Thank you, board members. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Great. It's nice to be in person. Amy Atwood, contract lobbyist for the district. The legislative session wrapped up about 4 weeks ago. If you remember, the legislative session is 120 days. It started the second Wednesday of January and it finished the second Wednesday of May. There were fewer bills this year than we usually see. There were about 700 instead of closer to 750. That's the overall total, but we also saw fewer bills within education. We saw about 35 instead of the usual 50 to 60. And the reason for that was the budget. So if you remember, all year we've talked about the budget, really for 2 years, we've talked about the budget that the state has been in a structural deficit, $1 billion hole, basically, that they have had to try and fill. And per the Constitution, they have to pass a balanced budget. So how did the legislature do that this year? First, they reduced the reserve from 15% to 13%. That saved $350 million. Well, it shifted $350 million. They made cuts to Medicaid to the tune of $350 million. That's programmatic cuts as well as provider rate cuts. And then it was line item cuts within the budget, just different grants, different programs throughout all departments. And all departments within state government did receive a cut. But K-12 education did not. So the new school finance formula that passed 2 years ago was implemented to the commitment that was made when that bill was passed. So going into next year, the new school finance formula will be implemented at 30% with 3-year averaging. So it really was a win for K-12 this year that there was an increase, a significant increase in funding. There were some grants that were cut, but Mrs. Allen and I have gone back and forth and looked at all of those grants to make sure that they will not be impacting the district. So it was a good year. I set all of that up to say that structural deficit isn't going away. We thought it was going to be 3 years. It looks like it'll be more like 5. It isn't that revenues have gone down. Revenues continue to grow in the state, but expenditures have increased, as you've seen in the district. Everything is increasing, but the revenue that's coming in isn't covering the expenditures. So that's where we go into next year again between $1 billion and $1.5 billion overspent. So when you go and you start to look at your next budget, and for 27-28, I think it will be a good year if K-12 is held flat. That will be a total win. If we have the same amount of money for 27-28 that we have for 26-27. I think that there is the real potential that there will be a cut. So as you look towards your budget for 27-28, keep that in the back of your mind. We will have a very good idea if that's going to happen a better idea than we usually do, and that will start next week. So next week, there is the revenue forecast. We get a state revenue forecast and economic forecast every quarter, June, September, December. So when we see that June revenue forecast next week, that tells us, did all of the money come in that was needed to pay for 25, 26? If there wasn't enough money that came in to pay for the budget we're just closing out, then they will have to pull from next year's budget. And if that happens, then we could see a rescission in January. So that we will have a longer runway to know if that is coming. And you'll get a report next week on how that revenue, what that revenue forecast looks like. And then the September forecast is the one that really is looking forward. The June one looks back to make sure, can we pay the bills that we've already said we were going to, or we've already committed to. And then September and December is what we're looking forward with. So just keep that in mind. Look out for that report at the end of it. It'll be Friday that you'll see that report next week. I also wanted to mention that you'll see on the ballot this year a measure that was referred by the legislature from Senate Bill 135, and it deals with TABOR refunds. And so what this measure does is for 10 years, the state would be able to keep the TABOR refunds, and a portion of it would go to K-12 funding. Not the whole amount. And if you remember, TABOR refunds don't happen every single year. So they are one-time funds. But the first tranche of money that comes out of that goes to pay back the counties for the senior homestead tax exemption. So the first tranche of money goes to that. Whatever is left over goes to K-12. That campaign has begun. You'll start seeing ads for that. And I just want you to keep in mind, it's a bit like the marijuana tax, that it was sold as it was going to be all for K-12, and it's not. We get the leftovers. Just want to check my notes. Okay, those are my notes. You've seen my report. It was in your board packet. Does anyone have any questions?
Director Tripp.
Sorry, I just thought of one. What's the expectation, or what's the obligation to the senior homestead portion versus like how much you think would be left over? Maybe it's easiest as a percentage. I know it's always guessing, right? But as best as you can.
I will actually send you the fiscal note from the bill, because the fiscal note says what is projected in a normal year, what is projected for homestead exemption, and what would be projected specifically for D20. So without having that right in front of me, I don't want to say, but that senior homestead tax it is a big chunk of money. It's a lot of money. Millions, hundreds of millions.
Director Waldrop.
I got two questions. One, you said that we have a flat move into next year. So I'm assuming that doesn't account for inflation, right? We just had an inflation report of like 4%. So if it's flat, and so we expect that to already be like a 3 to 4% cut. Is that fair?
That is one way to say it.
Okay. And then the other part is, if that legislation does go through and it gets people voted in or gets passed, is it likely to stay enacted, or is it going to be appealed because it kind of goes against kind of TABOR kind of laws? Is there lawsuits going to hold it up? Do we have a sense of if this does move forward, is there going to be litigation immediately to kind of hold it and stop it up?
Well, what's interesting.
Are we back? Oh, I was just going to say that Mr. Smart was going to get us all donuts and coffee, but never mind. All right, Ms. Atwood.
Sure. That was a two-part question. So I first want to address the first one on inflation. In years past, we've had the budget stabilization factor, the BS factor, the negative factor, and that is what was used to counterbalance inflation. So whether there is a BS factor that's put back into place, all of that is being negotiated, but yes, it could be a 1-for-1. And then your second question on Tabor, it is, the ballot measure is basically debrucing the state for 10 years. And that measure is only for 10 years. But it is not taking away the ability of voters to vote on tax increases. So it's just the debrucing, like many local government, school districts, special districts have done. That's what it's doing.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Atwood.
Great, thank you. And
Appreciate
it is
you.
an honor to represent the district. I want you to know that when you come up, and I've seen you up at the Capitol, it's been great when I'm that little square on our Zoom calls. It is such an honor.
Thank you, appreciate you. All right, Mr. Belcher, how many people have signed up to speak during public comment section 1?
We have 19 commenters.
The board welcomes public comment on issues related to the operation and conduct of district schools in accordance with Board Governance Policy GP 4.4. For members of the public who have registered to comment on tonight's meeting, the board has reserved 2 public comment sections. The first public comment section is for individuals who are speaking on specific agenda items and ASD 20 students. ASD 20 students will be called first, after which individuals will be called in the order they appear on the sign-up sheet. The second public comment section is for individuals who wish to speak on a general topic not on the agenda. Individuals will be called in the order they appear on the sign-up sheet. Each individual speaker will be limited to 2 minutes of comment. Individual speakers may not cede their time to other speakers. Please keep in mind that students often attend board meetings. Speakers' remarks, therefore, should be suitable for an audience that includes kindergarten through 12th grade students. Out of respect for all speakers, please refrain from cheering, clapping, snapping, or speaking out during public comment. The board president will recognize each speaker and may interrupt, warn, or terminate a speaker's statement that is unrelated to the operations or conduct of the school district or disruptive to an orderly, civil, and productive meeting. Examples of comments that may be disruptive to an orderly, civil, and productive meeting include obscenities, profanities, comments that constitute harassment on the basis of one or more protected classes, and/or personal attacks against any individual that exceed permissible criticism of school operations or personnel in their professional capacity. Finally, as a reminder to all present, the board and staff generally do not respond to public comment. This is our opportunity to hear from students, parents, and patrons. The board may discuss public comments later in the agenda or on future agenda.
All right. Our first commenter is Jackson Hoskinson, followed by Devin Shutrone.
Good evening and happy Pride. My name is Jackson and I'm the school advocate with Inside Out Youth Services, our region's LGBTQIA2+ youth support nonprofit, and I'm speaking on the backroom changes made to Policy A this month, ACA. Tonight you'll hear a lot about how your actions and decisions around this policy have been legally dubious, completely untransparent, and supported by bad faith and unfounded concerns. But it comes down to this. If you can't generate the respect to call someone what they want to be called without rubbing your nose in their private medical history, something is wrong with you, especially when those people are minors. But what has been ignored in this public comment, it was about 15 minutes of it, is why calling students by their correct name is important. It's important because it's suicide prevention. If you would allow yourself for a second to have empathy for the students and families you serve, which I know is a tall ask, you might ask yourself why these protections exist. I guess we need to be clear. To call someone by any gender the wrong name is rude. To do it repeatedly is bullying and harassment. For our LGBTQIA and transgender students, to call them the wrong name is to deny their existence. And it is to deny that they are telling you some things about themselves that they know about themselves. And who are you to tell them who they are? This board claims to care about student agency, but is passing policies that require bullying a student when they exercise their agency. Multiple members of this board have likened being trans to a mental health crisis, which shows a deep misunderstanding of the students and their well-being. Would you not feel alone and invalid if your school refused to acknowledge you? If they repeatedly refused to respect you and call you by your correct name? If when other students harassed you, they were not reprimanded joined by teachers and staff, their elected politicians? You claim to value excellence, but it is not excellent to encourage rude behavior towards others and to require it in your schools. In my work, I have not seen a school district so afraid of their constituents, so shady in their practices, and so willing to let Brad Miller drive the district budget straight into his hands, and that's saying something down here. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Devin Chatrone, followed by Ollie Glessner.
Hello, my name is Devin Chatrone. I am a taxpayer in Colorado Springs and a college student, and I work at a law firm as a paralegal. I am concerned about the policy change for ACA. As a taxpayer, I understand that this opens the district up for possible lawsuits from students, especially those who are 17 and 18, and can get legal representation for violations of their student rights. Students have the right to use a name that makes them feel comfortable, and it is solidified under state law with HB 241039. Which requires all Colorado public and charter schools to use the name that students prefer. Requiring parental consent violates this law and the rights of trans students. A member of this board at a past meeting stated that this was targeted at transgender youth specifically and won't impact students that are not trans, which opens up the door for not only lawsuits for violating state law, but also discrimination against a group of people that are protected under state law. This won't impact cis students who use nicknames. I highly recommend against this policy change, since taxpayers in our city will not be happy when a lawsuit inevitably occurs that will take funds away from the education of our students that they need. I'm aware that multiple members of this board have made it clear that their feelings come before the law, but you're elected to serve all D20 students and follow the law of our state. You cannot give special privileges to cis students and violate any laws you dislike. Many people, including allied attorneys, are watching the situation unfold, and they're taking notes on the violations that this board is doing. You attempted to cause confusion about what is happening in this district, and you've been successful in the past. But we are now all able to focus on what's happening here, and it won't be kept hidden from public scrutiny any longer. I hope you will reconsider this change, since it will waste tax dollars due to hateful opinions and inevitably add to the bullying trans students get and increase their likelihood of suicidal thoughts and attempts for D20 students who are trans. Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker is Ollie Glessner, followed by Ali Arensaft.
Hello, my name is Ollie, and I am the Advocacy Director of Inside Out Youth Services, which supports LGBTQ+ youth, including many who go to school in your district. I am here to oppose your changes to policy ACA. I usually start by saying thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight, but I think you were really hoping you wouldn't have to hear from us. When the agenda for this meeting was posted on Monday, it did not include policy ACA. At noon yesterday, when public comment sign-up opened, you updated your agenda to include it after all. This comes across as a coordinated effort to make all the good folks here tonight think they would have another opportunity to speak, so they wouldn't sign up tonight. That was cowardly. Though you definitely don't want to, tonight you will hear public comment in support of trans youth. Director Waldrop said on May 14th that activists weaponize empathy by sharing statistics and stories about trans youth's needs and experiences. That is also cowardly and very, very sad. Empathy is not a weapon. It isn't attacking you, and I am so sorry that you feel like it is. To reject tenderness and care as an attack is no way for a human being to live. Empathy is actually a normal, positive human response to learning about someone else's suffering. More than that, empathy is a call to action. It tells us to think about what we're doing and how it impacts others, to evaluate our choices based on how someone else may feel. If feeling empathy for trans youth makes you so uncomfortable you want to silence the voices of those calling for that empathy, that is a sign not from activists like me, but from your conscience. Brad Miller, whom you embarrassingly appointed despite his failures in other districts, said that the legislature wanted to insinuate that children have agency. I don't know if you've met a child, but they do have agency and autonomy and lives they are trying desperately to live. You must start seeing them as people. You must feel empathy for them before you rewrite policies that impact their futures. Good night and happy Pride.
Our next speaker is Ali Arensaft, followed by Jody Fletcher.
Happy Pride, everyone. My name is Allie Ehrensaft. I use she, they pronouns, and I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives at Inside Out Youth Services. And I'm also a former teacher in D20 at Rampart High School, in fact. So since you snuck ACA onto the agenda last minute, signaling you've already made your decision, regardless of public feedback, I figured I'd turn back to my skills as an English teacher and discuss the impact of your discriminatory decisions through the lenses of literature. I started each school year with The Secret Life of Bees, the story of a young girl who fled her abusive home and found chosen family within a group of sisters. Many students related to this story through the lack of acceptance in their own homes and at school. This story teaches us that the conditions for thriving are made possible when trusted adults affirm and support students in who they are. Instead, you actively choose to deny them agency by scapegoating parental control. Next up, Persepolis, penned by the late Marjane Satrapi, who told the story of her upbringing during the Iranian Revolution. And students grappled with the speed at which fundamentalism could take over a democratic system, how easily their rights as individuals could be taken away simply because of their identities and the beliefs that they held. Which brings us to the obvious yet ever-prescient 1984. And it was obvious to students as well. Isn't this kind of what's happening today? They asked me in 2016. And by establishing curriculum and policies that filter out specific topics and identities that are out of alignment with fundamentalist thoughts, you are hindering the critical thinking that once made this district the peak of excellence. But with dwindling enrollment, fear-driven book bans, and contracting Big Brother, many argue, excellent no more. The policies you continue to put forth that restrict students' agency, identity, and choice in their learning make you as a school board of D20 the obvious antagonists. And if you struggle to see the irony in these analogies, perhaps a lesson or two from the very students you seek to disenfranchise would help.
Our next speaker is Jody Fletcher, followed by Heather McDuffie.
Hi, Jody Fletcher, parent of 4 Liberty High School grads, retired teacher, including 3 years at Timberview and Liberty, school administrator with 38 years experience. I'm also a D20 taxpayer and a volunteer at Inside Out Youth Services, and I'm here about policy ACA. El Paso County leads Colorado in youth suicide rates, with LGBTQ youth facing significantly higher risks. Requiring parental consent to use their chosen and preferred names will only increase those risks. Colorado's HB 251312 Kelly Loving Act protects transgender students and requires schools to respect chosen names. As written, ACA would effectively force schools to out students to parents, potentially violating Colorado's anti-discrimination protections. It's been stated ACA is being revised to align with federal law. There's no federal law mandating parental notification or consent. Executive orders are not laws, and none mandate notification regarding name changes. Pursuing this policy exposes D20 to possible legal challenges at a time when fiscal stewardship is especially important. How will students be informed that requesting a preferred name will automatically trigger parental contact? Will they have the option to withdraw the request if disclosure could put them at risk? Queer youth already face disproportionately high rates of homelessness and family rejection. Policies that risk that should be carefully reconsidered. Many districts allow counselors to work with students individually to determine whether and how parents will be involved. Requiring documentation and parental consent for LGBTQ students while allowing nicknames without such requirements create unequal treatment and raises concerns about discrimination. Bullying, harassment, and hostility towards transgender and LGBTQ youth have increased in recent years. Is D20 preparing to accept responsibility if a student suffers harm after being outed through this policy? I understand this is an administrative decision already in motion, and I urge you to remove the mandatory notification and consent requirement. Work directly with students and implement safeguards that prioritize student safety.
Thank you. Your time's up.
Our next speaker is Heather McDuffie, followed by Emma Francois.
Blessed Pride to all here. I am Reverend Heather McDuffie, a local clergy person of the United Church of Christ, a former D20 parent and a regional director of the Interfaith Alliance of Colorado. At Interfaith Alliance, we believe in religious liberty and in using faith as a force for good. From the faith perspective, name-changing ceremonies exist across many religious traditions during early adolescence. This practice runs deep in scripture as well. Abraham, Sarah, Mara, Israel, Peter, and Paul were all name changes. This shows us that preferred names are not a new idea. They are woven through the very foundations of many faith traditions, especially if you have changed your name after you got married. And honestly, most young people try on nicknames, especially in middle school. It's a normal, healthy part of adolescent development. Trying on a new name is a low stakes, powerful way to explore identity, build confidence, and embrace growth. But let's all tell the truth here. This policy is not about names, faith, or the healthy development of our children. Policy ACA imposes a political party's national agenda to control, dismiss, and erase differences among our students. It is an overreach and damaging to all children. This policy is wrong on so many levels, but the most egregious wrong is that it impacts some of the most vulnerable population in our schools. I believe in giving children emotionally safe environments to learn and discover who they truly are. This preferred name policy, I'm afraid, will create more problems than it solves for students, for families, and for this district's relationship with its community. As a Jesus-following Christian, targeting marginalized children is against my religion. As education board members, I pray that it's against yours as well. I urge you to reconsider this change and vote.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Our next speaker is Emma Francois, followed by Barbara Doyle. Thank you. Our next speaker is Barbara Doyle, followed by Laura Murray.
My name is Barbara Doyle. I'm a retired educator who taught for 18 years in Academy District 20. D20's ACA policy was in alignment with state laws and protections and did not need to be updated or changed. The D20 community needs to know that parental consent for all students taken over by this board regarding policy ACA is really parental consent for a targeted group of students. Also, changing policy ACA increased the potential for lawsuits against District 20. In a recent D20 board meeting on May 14th regarding implementing changes to policy ACA, Susan Payne stated that students are crying out for help and sometimes their support systems don't recognize it, and that the board as professionals need to recognize that this is a cry for help. Take note that this policy change steps way beyond the boundaries of what a school board should be providing. They cannot hide it under the guise about parental consent for all students, but for a particular group of students. I believe the focus of any board policy should prioritize educating students, not defining who they are or who you want them to be. This board is politicizing, not creating educational policies. At the same meeting, Brad Miller stated there's a chance of litigation for this policy change and asked which side of the line do you want to be on? What level of risk do you want to assume? How many students does this really affect in District 20 that legal counsel is not discouraging this change, yet knowing it could potentially increase the risk of lawsuits? Also, if only transgender or gender nonconforming students are required to go through the process, which can potentially happen, they're being targeted due to their gender identity, which is an explicitly protected class in Colorado anti-discrimination law. The potential for lawsuits against D20 will increase. This school board has already made up its mind to change policy ACA, despite spouting incredible misinformation regarding the LGBTQIA+ community, especially targeting the transgender population.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Our next speaker is Laura Murray, followed by Kirsten Blair.
Good evening. My name is Laura Murray. I'm a retired D20 teacher and a resident in our D20 community. I have concerns about your potential updates to policy ACA. The current policy aligns with Colorado State Law HB 24-1039. Changes to this policy that require parental approval or notification would be impossible to apply consistently and would constitute discrimination if not applied to every name change request. The D20 Global Ends, mission, values, and vision statements each address the need for safety, respect, and relationships. Changing the current policy negatively impacts the ability to meet any of these expectations. We aspire to practice meaningful inclusion, honor diversity, and develop connectedness throughout our school community. In order to be included and to honor diversity, students must trust that they can be themselves and be called by the name that they are most comfortable using. There are a myriad of reasons that people choose to go by a name other than the name on their birth certificate. My son William has always been Bill. He was not even aware that people were talking to him when addressed as William. Connections are not going to be made if preferred names are ignored and if students do not feel safe using them. Requiring parents or guardians to be notified of preferred names takes a layer of safety away from students. Teaching standards 2A and B require teachers to establish a safe, inclusive, and respectful learning environments for a diverse population of students and to demonstrate an awareness of, a commitment to, and a respect for multiple aspects of diversity. Please don't make it harder for teachers to make connections with and support all of their students. As a teacher for 21 years in this district, I know how hard the work is and how important those connections are, especially for kids. Everyone deserves to be called by their chosen name. It's a basic building block of respect. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Kirsten Blair, followed by Angela Promersberger.
Good evening, members of the board. My name is Dr. Kirsten Blair, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight in support of Ascend College Prep. I'm a U.S. history professor and have been part of Ascend since we opened our doors in 2021. I've had the privilege of watching the school grow from an idea into a successful and award-winning educational environment. Throughout my career in education, I have worked with students in a variety of settings, and that experience has reinforced something important. Different students thrive in different educational environments. That is why schools like Ascend are so valuable. For the past 5 years, Ascend has been proud to operate within the geographic boundaries of District 20, and we are grateful for the district's willingness to support an educational model that serves a unique group of students. Ascend was intentionally designed around a specific model. It serves a small student population, maintains small class sizes, and creates opportunities for meaningful interaction between students and teachers. Those structural decisions make it possible to build strong relationships and provide highly individualized support while maintaining high academic expectations. What has impressed me most over the years is the way those structures translate into student outcomes. Students are challenged through rigorous coursework, extensive dual enrollment opportunities, and a culture that encourages them to pursue ambitious goals. At the same time, they are known as individuals. Teachers have the opportunity to understand students' strengths, interests, and aspirations, and to help them build the confidence needed to pursue their next steps. We had one student speak at graduation a couple years ago with tears in their eyes about being grateful for finding a safe place where they felt supported enough to thrive. Not because there was anything wrong with their former school, but because they needed the smaller environment. Many Ascend students are not looking for a replacement for traditional schools. They're simply looking for an educational setting that aligns with their needs, goals, and learning style. Ascend provides that option, and it does so exceptionally well. I hope you will support the resolution before you this evening and help ensure that this opportunity remains available to the students and families who have come to rely on it. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Our next speaker is Angela Promersberger, followed by Robin Lamoureux.
Good evening, members of the board, and thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. My name is Angela Promersberger, and I am here as a mother, an educator, and a member of the Ascend College Prep community. For many years, I homeschooled my children and expected to continue doing so through high school. That changed when we discovered Ascend. My oldest daughter enrolled as a junior and found exactly what she needed: small classes, exceptional teachers, and the opportunity to earn college credit while still in high school. Because of Ascend, she graduated with 1.5 years of college credit and is now on track to earn a degree in computer science and a minor in math from UCCS. My son graduated from Ascend just a few weeks ago. He earned more than 1 year of college credit while continuing his flight training. Through Ascend's aviation program, he prepared and passed his written private pilot exam and is now on track to earn his pilot's license. I have twins who hope to attend Ascend this fall and another child who plans to follow in the future. What makes Ascend special is not just the college credit or the specialized programs. It is the environment. The small classes and the strong relationships allow students to be known, supported, challenged, and encouraged to pursue goals that might otherwise seem out of reach. This year, I also had the privilege of joining the Ascend staff. Watching students grow in confidence, maturity, and academic ability had only reinforced what I saw as a parent. Ascend changes lives. If Ascend were no longer available, my family would not enroll in another school. We would return to homeschooling. I know many other families who choose Ascend because it offers something unique and valuable for their students. I appreciate the time and thought that goes into decisions like this. For families like mine, supporting this waiver would help ensure that Ascend can continue serving students who have found a home there and have benefited from its unique educational model. I respectfully ask for you to support the waiver and for the opportunity for us to Ascend to continue serving students and families for years to come. Thank you for your time and your thoughtful consideration.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Our next speaker is Robin Lamoureux, followed by Jenny Paz. Robin, are you in the room? Our next speaker is Jenny Paz, followed by Cindy Feskin.
My name is Jenny Pass. I'm a parent of a D20 student and live in district. I am here to support the ACA policy changes. Parents are the primary caregivers and have the primary responsibility and right to make decisions for their children. The important distinction with these policy changes is it moves us from simply informing parents to requiring parental consent before any changes are made. Schools partner with parents to educate our children. They should not be substitutes for parents. The opposition to my comment may start from a troubling assumption that parents are generally a threat to their children. Situations where a child may be unsafe at home are rare and exceptions to the rule. There are safeguards in place through existing law and policies that provide protocol for schools to respond when there are cases of negligence or abuse. It is not a school's place to keep secrets from parents regarding the most basic care of their children. Trust is built on truth, and trust can easily be undermined when information is kept from parents who are the primary supporters, cheerleaders, and the people most invested in their child's success. Parents know their children better than anyone. This policy allows parents to be involved in vital decisions that significantly affect their children's lives. Parents deserve to be informed and to have consent with immense changes like this. We all care about our students, but parents are the ones with authority to guide their children with these types of decisions. The reasons I have outlined here is why I support the policy and encourage the board to adopt it tonight. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Cindy Feskin, followed by Christy Simpson.
Good evening. I'm Cindy Feskin, and I'm addressing you as a resident of District 20, a retired District 20 principal, and a proud parent of 2 District 20 graduates, one of whom is a trans woman. Regarding the proposed changes to policy ACA, the reason listed for the changes is to bring the policy into compliance with federal law. There is no federal law requiring schools to advise parents if their students ask to be called by a chosen name. Something was brought up about making it more in compliance with FERPA, but FERPA is about releasing student information and having parent consent for that, and this does not affect that at all. There is a Colorado law, HB 24-1039, which requires that public schools address students by their chosen name and pronouns. It does not require schools to notify parents of students when they make a different chosen name. By requiring staff to report to parents if a student asks to be called a name other than their legal name, several problems can occur. First and foremost, some students will be put in unsafe situations because their families do not support them. This is the exact opposite of what educators are supposed to do. Second, are teachers then required to inform parents that James wants to be called Jimmy, that Cynthia wants to be called Cindy, that Alexandra wants to be called Alex? If this policy goes into effect, every single name change must be addressed. That's a waste of educators' time. Third, if this change passes, there will likely be loss.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Our next speaker is Christy Simpson, followed by Catherine Chukas.
My name is Christy Simpson. I'm the parent of a D20 high schooler. A student asking to change their name at school, especially when it touches on gender identity, isn't a small thing. It can signal deep questions about who they are, how they feel, and who they will become. Decisions this big should never happen without people who know and love them best, their parents. No school policy should involve secrets between children and their parents. Let me be clear, parents are the most important decision makers in their children's lives, period. Let's be honest about this policy. Students are still allowed to change their names, unlike the propaganda that has been spoken here tonight about supposed rights being taken away and bullying. This policy requires parental consent before a change is made. This is an important distinction. It recognizes that schools are partners in a child's education, not a substitute for parents. No school policy should involve secrets between children and parents. Notification informs parents, consent respects parents, and inclusion honors the parent's role. Some say informing parents puts children at risk. That assumes parents are threats. In reality, most parents are their child's strongest protection. Rare cases of abuse are already handled by laws and school safeguards at D20. Studies by both William H. Jennings and Henderson and Mapp show that there are reduced behavioral problems and improved self-esteem among students whose parents are informed and involved in school decisions. The evidence is clear. Keeping secrets from families puts kids at risk. Policies should protect students without sidelining parents. School board members, be empowered by the majority of voters in 23 and 25 elections who trust you to make the best decisions for the minor children in our school district.
Our next speaker is Catherine Chukas, followed by Esther Lee.
My name is Catherine Chukas. I'm a D20 resident and taxpayer. I'm no longer a D20 parent. That makes me similar to all of the board members here. None of us are current parents of D20 students. I do not have a credential as an education administrator. That makes me similar to all board members. I do not have an advanced degree in education. That makes me similar to all board members. We are not professional educators. For item D on your agenda for resolutions today, I commend the use of outside advisors. Ensure these advisors are getting input from many people who are not me and who are not you, current parents, current administrators, and professionals in education. What I can give you advice about is what you can think about in terms of model districts to understand in the state and in the country. There are no large, high-performing, fiscally and academically high-performing districts in the Pikes Peak region. Do not try to learn from them. There are very few large districts of our size in the state. Think about how many districts have multiple high school sites. Maybe look at St. Vrain. There are very few at a national level which have our success, our size, and demographics of property taxpayers. Please look at Aurora and Naperville, Illinois, to understand how to structure a school district of our size. Do not look at the Pikes Peak region. Do not look at districts that you don't understand right now. Please look nationally. The other thing I'd ask you to do is please look for typos in your resolutions. This resolution has a typo. It's very clear. Just like the resolutions last month that you passed, you referenced Monument Academy as being the way to compare a charter school. That is a typo. You need to take the typos and make amendments to these things. You have a typo in this resolution as well. And if you can't find it in 30 seconds, ask somebody else. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Esther Lee, followed by Lynn Cito.
Hi, I'm Esther Lee. I'm a resident of D20. When a student requests a name change at school tied to gender identity, this is not a simple administrative task. It touches on a child's development, emotional well-being, and future. Decisions like these should never exclude the people who know and love the child best, their parents. This policy ensures parental consent before any change is made. I run a business with kids. They show up and I talk to the parents, and if they want to be called a different name, usually the parents tell me that. So it works pretty well and it doesn't take that much time. Schools are essential in educating and supporting students, but they cannot replace parents. Families thrive on trust and communication, and school policy should strengthen that partnership, not undermine it. This policy does not prevent students from exploring identity or having conversations about how they want to be addressed. It simply ensures parents are included in decisions with lasting consequences. And let's not forget that this board reflects the choice of the D20 community. Voters in 2023 and 25 entrusted this board to uphold the values and priorities that matter to them. At the heart of this policy is a principle that should never be controversial. Parents know and love their child better than anyone, and they should be included in the decisions made about the fundamental identity of their child. They deserve a seat at the table, a voice in major decisions, and the right to give or withhold consent. I respectfully urge the adoption of this policy. Thank you for being brave enough to protect both the children and the parents involved.
Our next speaker is Lynn Cito, followed by Eleanor Skelton.
Good evening, board. My name is Lynn Cito. I'm a district resident, proud district educator, and parent of 2 D20 graduates. In addition, I am the president of the Academy Education Association, our district's educator union. I've been an educator for almost 20 years and have made this my profession because I believe in public education and I believe in our students. I suspect that you feel the same. Otherwise, you would not have become members of a public school board. So while we all consider ourselves on the same team, it seems lately we are not all playing the same game. Case in point, your proposed resolution regarding ACA name changes shouldn't even be an issue, but here we are. So enacting this policy would not only be a logistical nightmare for staff to fulfill, but it will be a violation of student rights, as mentioned by other speakers here tonight. Even worse, this policy will seriously impair the ability of teachers to accomplish the mission of this district, to educate students to thrive, all students. It is contrary to the mission of public education, and it is against the district mission and values, as mentioned by Ms. Murray earlier. Students learn and thrive best from teachers and educators who teach them with dignity and respect, from educators with whom they have a positive, nurturing relationship, from someone with whom they feel safe, from someone who acknowledges them as an autonomous human who has their own say in who they are. Students do not learn from teachers who disrespect them or feel that they dislike them. This especially includes being called by the name that they prefer. Although this applies to our transgender student, it applies to every single one who wants to shorten their name, like Albert, who wants to be called Al, or by initials like AJ. A student whose first name is Heather but wants to be called Bryn because there's too many Heathers. Or even our immigrant students who have chosen an American name because their given name is too hard for their peers and teachers to pronounce. Do you really expect us to teach students after mandating that we disrespect them? So I ask you to please be on the team of public education, the team that honors our students' dignity and empowers teachers to help them thrive. Please table this policy.
Thank you. Your time is up.
Our final speaker is Eleanor Skelton.
Hello, I'm Eleanor Skelton, and I have taught high school and middle school English and journalism classes in Texas and Colorado for the last 6 years. I am here to ask the D20 School Board to not pass policy ACA requiring parental consent for student name changes. Today, I'm going to share my experience after D11 changed their policy ACA to warn you about the harm that it will cause. One of my students this year was our yearbook and newspaper editor at Tesla Educational Opportunity School. The student is also transgender, and she turned 18 in September 2025. Although she should be able to sign her own forms to change her name, administrators denied her that right. My students finally convinced her parents to sign off on her chosen name in May 2026, right before graduation, even though she had legally been an adult for 6 months. Because of D11's policy ACA, one of the administrators at my school seemed afraid to allow students to be called anything other than their legal name until, even with signed parental consent, until my student reached out to Inside Out Youth Services for support. What happened to my student falls under the Kelly Loving Act that prohibits intentional misgendering or dead naming someone as a discriminatory act and went into effect on May 16th, 2025, according to the advocacy group One Colorado. Passing policy ACA will cause school staff to be afraid to allow students to be called by their preferred name, even if they do have parental consent. This policy will cause even more harm to students without supportive parents. Students may be called something other than their legal name for a number of reasons. Maybe their last name came from a parent who's no longer in their life, and they would rather share the last name of a step-parent who does love and support them. Maybe their parents are planning to legally change their name or have a step-parent adopt them, but they do not currently have the money for court fees. This policy is going to harm many students who may be straight or LGBTQ. Please hear my story and take action.
That concludes our speakers for this section.
All right, we need a motion to approve Resolution 232-26, approval of budget adoption for fiscal year 2026-2027.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne.
Aye.
Director Tripp.
Aye.
Director Wilburn.
Aye.
Director Waldrop.
Aye.
President Shandy.
Aye. We need a motion to approve Resolution 233-26, authorization for Ascend College Prep to submit a transfer application to the Colorado Charter School Institute.
So moved.
Second. Discussion, please.
Happy to discuss.
Director Tripp.
I just want to note the number of people that have emailed us about this school, and I don't think they could come up with, on aggregate, a higher level of praise for the school and for the impact on their students. So
very good.
Just want that noted.
Director Waldrop.
Yeah, I'll just second that. I mean, it sounds like this is a great program. It's very well loved. We have great comments here and many came over email and communication. So glad to see they'll be able to support it.
Vice President Payne.
I just wanted to say one of the things in looking into this and doing the research and talking to both staff and leaders in the district and seeing the personal testimony of the difference it's made in the young people's lives really reminds us that there's not just one pathway forward, and it is a new normal, the way education is done, and it definitely has my support.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne.
Aye.
Director Tripp.
Aye.
Director Wilburn.
Aye.
Director Waldrop.
Aye.
President Shandy.
Aye. We need a motion to approve Resolution 234-26, approval of matters relating to administrative staff licensed.
So moved.
Second. Discussion, please. Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne.
Aye.
Director Tripp.
Aye.
Director Wilburn.
Aye.
Director Waldrop.
Nay.
President Shandy.
Aye. We need a motion to approve Resolution 235-26, Transitional Leadership District Needs Assessment and Strategic Planning.
So moved.
Second. Discussion, please.
Only that we're thrilled to have Dr. Field here, and I'm excited to hear what that outside advisor has to help us see and do and learn from.
Vice President Payne.
I do want to just say it really is exciting to see what we can do and to take the time to assess and do a needs assessment, but also working in collaboration to see where there's things we can do to improve, but also that the people that will be selected will be highly qualified and subject matter experts, and providing, an independent perspective from someone on the outside that we can consider in making informed decisions moving forward. And we look forward to doing that in collaboration with Dr. Phil.
And I'll just add that as we, enter this transitional period and just taking our time to look at all of our processes, our organizational structure, and all of that in conjunction with Dr. Field and her team and staff, and we just look forward to having eyes of experts that are independent of us. So thank you. Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne.
Aye.
Director Tripp.
Aye.
Director Wilburn.
Aye.
Director Waldrop.
Aye.
President Shandy.
Aye. We need a motion to approve Resolution 236-26, Approval of recommended changes to administrative policy ACA name changes.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion, please. Director Wilburn.
So there's been a lot of discussion back and forth on email here tonight, passion on both sides. We all know that. I think the ultimate truth here is that this decision is about to be made for us. And I don't know how many people are aware of this, so I'm going to spend a couple times going through it, a couple of minutes going through it. The Protect Kids Act, this is at the federal level, this is the United States Congress. The Protect Kids Act, which is HR 2616, obviously this was introduced in the House of Representatives, is U.S. legislation that requires public schools receiving federal funds to obtain parental consent before changing a minor's gender markers, pronouns, preferred name, or sex-based accommodations, including locker rooms, bathrooms, etc. So this was introduced by Tim Walberg of Michigan. It passed the United States House of Representatives on May 20th. So less than a month ago. It is now moved over to the United States Senate where it's being heard. It is being heard in the Senate. I thought I had the name of the committee here, but I don't. It's a big long name of a committee. Health, Education, and Labor and Pensions Committee. It's being heard in committee presumably next week, possibly later this month. But this particular committee, the members are Senator Rand Paul, Susan Collins, Linda Murkowski, Tim Scott, Josh Hawley, Tommy Tuberville. There is no question that this is going to pass out of Senate committee, zero. Once it makes it to the Senate floor, the votes are there for it to pass, and there can also be no question that President Trump will sign it into law because he's the one that suggested it in the first place. So this HR 2616 is going to get passed into law. The chances of that not happening are very, very remote. And if we do not adopt a policy that complies with that law, then we lose federal funding, or at least we could lose a portion of federal funding. This is moving through Washington, D.C. as we speak. So the ultimate here may be that this is a decision that's about to be made for us, and we're just getting out in front of it.
Vice President Payne.
Some of the things that I just wanted to add clarity to, because I think it's really important when we have, information that is put out. One of the facts is that we have in place that educators that believe students that are unsafe or at risk are mandatory reporters. And that means that they are to notify DHS or law enforcement. And I want to make that very clear that we abide by that as a district, and we do training regularly on this. It will be included as part of this policy and continue to be fostered. The other part of that is FERPA is more than just student educational records. It's the ability to share information, and there are exceptions for health and safety within that too. And those things, there has never been a case that FERPA has stopped the sharing of information if there's a health or safety emergency, or the ability to do that between law enforcement and schools or families and schools. The last part of that is when we get into the business of keeping secrets from parents, we only have students for a short portion of their life at our school building. We do not have them after hours on the weekends during school breaks or on spring break or summer. We do not know all the pieces of the puzzle that a family's trying to balance. And if they need supports, we help guide them to those supports. But I just want to make that all very clear, because sometimes when people speak, their voice is heard. I want to make sure that there's accountability from this dais.
Director Waldrop.
Yeah, I know we've talked about some of these things before in terms of the state of the evidence and the science on these things, so we don't need to belabor that very much. But I think we're in a very clear place on this, and as noted by Director Wilburn, that I think we are kind of aligned with where the policies are going, and want to be able to protect the resources of this district, as well as being the best practices for the students and for the parents. So I think we're still in alignment.
Vice President Payne, I'll give you a follow-up.
My follow-up is just this, that there was a lot of time and collaborative work put into this, very thoughtful work about safety exceptions and a process that includes parent And if there is a nickname or a child that prefers a different name, it's simply this, that their parents give us the approval to use that name and that they're part of the loop in making that happen. So I would encourage you in reading the policy. I think it's very well done.
Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne,
Aye.
Director Tripp,
Aye.
Director Wilburn,
Aye.
Director Waldrop,
Aye.
President Shandy.
Aye. Before we move ahead on the next item, I want to, we will have order or you will be dismissed. Yeah, before we move ahead on the next item, I want to provide any members with an opportunity to comment on their connection with this matter and to offer to be recused if they believe that to be necessitated by their connection with the item to be addressed. Director Wilburn.
Yeah, this book was brought up on book review committee. I was a member of that committee, so I think it's appropriate that I recuse myself from this vote.
Director Waldrop.
Yes, I brought this forward. I don't think I have much to add to that. I will note it was also kind of encouraged by the previous superintendent too to go through this process, and I think it's appropriate for me to recuse myself.
Okay. We need a motion to approve resolution 237-26, consideration for library book appeal.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. I think it's, do you have something? Vice President Payne.
So just for clarification, I don't have any discussion. Does anyone else?
I think it's just a good practice for us to hear and authorize our authority as a school board to hear the consideration.
Well, and I can add for discussion just as
Vice President Payne.
Sorry.
It's okay.
President Shandy. I apologize. I've
No worries.
had several missteps here. But I do think in reading through this, looking at what everybody's feedback was and the process that it went through. One, I do think that we can improve on the process, and we are all in agreement of everybody that's been involved in this, is that we can pursue a better process moving forward. But I would also say that for me, part of the concern were the resources provided at the end of the book. And from my perspective, just even last week, we're at a violence prevention national roundtable and training for law enforcement nationwide. And part of what we had were some of the conversations surrounding substance abuse and drugs in this country, and websites that sell drugs to children that are then laced with fentanyl, and a number of deaths that have been caused across the country. And one of the alarming things about this book was really at the end of the book where it talks about, and Director Tripp, we dialogued about this, but at the end of the book where it provides resources for students to get drugs through Mexico for going through transgender changes and hormones. And for me, that was something that I considered extremely dangerous and not some narrative that we want in front of our children from age 14. And it has no belonging on a school shelf, in my opinion, that these lead to acts of violence and tragedies that we could have prevented.
All right, so before we vote, just want to make clear, if approved, the board will consider the appeal during the discussion item portion of tonight's meeting. Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne,
Aye.
Director Tripp,
Aye.
President Shandy.
Aye. All right, so we will move right into the hearing for the book challenge, Almost Perfect. Tonight's discussion item is the hearing for an appeal of a book challenge for Almost Perfect. As this is an appeal, the board's role is to review the decision based on the existing record. New evidence or new claims will not be considered. We will begin with the appellant, Eddie Waldrop, who will have 5 minutes, roughly 5 minutes, to present his appeal. Following that, Carrie Evans will outline the process that was undertaken. After both presentations, the board may ask clarifying or follow-up questions. The board will then deliberate and will either vote this evening or determine to reconvene within the next week to render a decision. Mr. Waldrop, would you like to speak? Yes, please.
Is it already on? Okay. Yeah, thank you. I don't have very much to add. I think most of those is already in the documents kind of presented for the book review. I think the purpose of the challenge of the book was a valid reason. I think we all understand why that was brought. I think it's important to the district as well as to the parents and for everyone involved. I think it's good to really get a good sense of what that process looked like, what are the pros and cons about it, and also are there room for improvement for it. And as I noted, it was also recommended to go through that process with the previous superintendent. So follow through that process, I think, with fidelity, and I appreciate everyone's support on this. So thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Evans, thank you. You have roughly 5 minutes. I will not gavel you.
Okay, thank you. You know, I like to be in front of the mic. So I am just here to share with you the process that we went through when we were initiating the book reconsideration. So this process started with the initial request for reconsideration. Through policy, the request goes directly to the principal, and at that point, the principal acknowledges the reconsideration request. And then the first step is the earnest of the principal, in this case from Rampart High School. Her job was to investigate the 9 different criteria points that support addition of books into our collections, and then just merely share with the complainant which of those criteria had been taken into consideration for acquisition of the book. One thing to consider, oftentimes books are acquired prior to sitting administration. So sometimes they have to rely on their staff and just records from previous staff. So once that is completed, once the principal shares the rationale for the acquisition of the book, the complainant has a decision to make whether or not that satisfies the concern, or a next step can be to do a formal request for consideration. And in this case, that occurred. That triggers the compilation of a committee that goes through a book challenge. And so per policy, the challenger, the reconsideration committee, includes district teachers. In this case, we pulled district teachers from the cohort of teachers who are studying to be administrators. There also includes the principal of the building, the librarian of the building, up to 2 teachers from the building, a parent from the building who also sits on a district committee, a student from the building, and then 2 board members. And so those people were all brought together as part of a committee. They received the initial request for consideration form, they received a copy of the book, and they also received the initial rationale for acquiring the book that was initially presented to the complainant. We held a committee hearing. Per policy, the committee hearing is done on Teams, and it is done unanimously. So the 9 people on the committee were given a link. They signed on using an alias. We presented them with a slide deck just explaining and going through each of the criteria for the consideration of library materials, so that they would understand what they would have to consider after the committee was or the committee hearing was complete. During the committee itself, the complainant was given an opportunity to address concerns, and then each committee member had the opportunity to share their thoughts and opinions about the book. Upon completion of the hearing, the group is just given next steps. In this case, the policy requires that each committee member has to rate each of the 8 criteria on a scale of 1 to 4. So for each of the criteria, in this case, there were 36 available points for each criteria. There were 8 criteria that they were rating. And then I did the math about the possible percentage points, and anything over 66% indicates that the book should stay on the shelf. Below 66% indicates that the book should be removed. In this case, of course I did not write it down. I believe it was 88% of points. It was over the 66%. So that indicated that that initial committee recommended that the book is retained on the shelves. At that point, anyone on the committee who does not agree with the decision of the committee has the ability to do an appeal. That first appeal goes to the superintendent or designee. And the role of the superintendent or designee at this point is to solely ensure that the policy as written was followed. And in this case, it was determined that policy was followed. And then the final step of the appeal is where we are at today, where the complainant can take the appeal to the Board of Education for further review. So what questions do you have, if any?
Discussion, please. I don't think we have questions for you necessarily. Okay. You can be on call if you will.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Tripp.
So I read through all of those comments in your packet, so I appreciate you providing those. I also read the book. What I appreciated about the book is the opportunity to see a young person who had experienced gender dysphoria from a very young age and some of the challenges that they face in that. And I think that is a valid experience for people to know about. I want to reiterate what Director Payne has alluded to, which is in no circumstance do we support mistreatment of any child for any reason. And some of the things talked about in that book that were presented as happening to that character certainly fall in that category and are completely inappropriate in any setting, certainly in a school setting. And we're not going to support any of that. So to the extent that that happens, I would hope that the procedures already in place are upheld and handled appropriately. My concern with the book was that it promotes what's sort of outdated guidance for youth experiencing gender dysphoria. It used to be that it was all affirming for care, but medical bodies, government bodies have looked at that and have said that that is actually not appropriate for minors and have pulled back. Several countries, the UK, Sweden, Norway, Germany, have all pulled back and basically said we're not going to allow that to happen. And additional medical bodies have been pulling back, including the United States. Plastic surgeons are saying we're not doing any gender-related surgeries. We don't recommend that. Simply for the reason that many gender dysphoria situations resolve after, in adulthood, they resolve. And that doing those kinds of things ahead of that time can end up and are showing to be more harmful overall than doing good. I think everybody wants to do good by students. The book basically is promoting a narrative that has been shown to do harm for most, certainly not all, but for most. And I don't think that presenting that narrative as a healthy one is very good. Now, left alone as a novel, you might be on the fence, but then when that book follows up with a list of resources pointing kids towards websites and towards advocacy groups and towards other things that may push them further into that line of thinking and line of behavior is really troubling to me. Again, we want those students to be supported by their parents, by counselors, by mental health professionals. And having a list of websites that pushes impressionable and vulnerable youth in a certain direction that is now being medically unsupported, I find to be very troubling. And for that reason, I think it fails the basic standard of is this appropriate for kids, for our kids? And while you may say some of the languages or we like the empathy or whatever, for those reasons, I think it can lead to real harm and irreversible harm and is not appropriate for kids and doesn't belong in our library. Thank you.
Thank you. Vice President Payne.
Well said,
Mhm.
Director Tripp. Excellent. And I think I know that we probably all agree we need more research and better safeguards for pubescent adolescents around gender identity, mental health, the suicide risk, the substance access, the online access that they have at their fingertips that's not necessarily legal but can often be fatal. I do want to add the school library book in our limited capacity for the number of books that can be on a bookshelf. We have to look at, does this cause more harm than good? And for anyone that reads that and then looks at the list of resources that leads them to making the decision about obtaining hormones through Mexico or China or outside of their parent medical or legal supervision is anyway safe, acceptable, or appropriate. The scope of what we look at is more than just the obscenity of the book or the discussion in the book, but are we looking at something that in our school library, K through 12 or age 14 and up, that they should have access to that could lead them on a pathway of harm is not something I can support. And I want to end with this because it was out of last week's comment, but the federal data supports concern about counterfeit pills and fentanyl exposure amongst adolescents. And these online purchases for children purchasing Adderall, hormones, that is all a known tactic. It is not safe. And for that very reason, I just think that we have to really look at the dangers these books without adult supervision and counseling of people in their home. I think they cause a great danger.
Thank you. Both well said. Appreciate you both voicing. Oh, Director Tripp.
Sorry, I just should note there are many, many other books in our libraries that highlight transgender experiences and storylines. So this is not the one and only book.
Thank you. And I'll just add to all that because that was all excellent. You don't need much from me, but the content I found to be immoral in nature and obscene, therefore not protected by the First Amendment under the Miller test. Taken as a whole, describes sexual conduct as defined in CRS 18.7.101 in a patently offensive way and lacks literary value consistent with our educational standards. We can do better, just like the curriculum that we have asked to be better. This library book, I believe, falls underneath that. So with that, we need a motion to approve resolution 23826 board challenge decision, and I will move to approve the removal of library resource Almost Perfect from all district school library collections in accordance with board policy, established reconsideration procedures in CRS 2232-110-1R on the grounds that the content is immoral in nature and obscene and therefore not protected by the First Amendment under the Miller test, and that an average person in the District 20 community would find that the work taken as a whole appeals to prudent interest, describes sexual conduct as defined in CRS 18.7.101 in a patently offensive way and lacks the literary value consistent with our educational standards. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Vice President Payne.
Aye.
Director Tripp.
Aye.
President Shandy.
Aye. All right, Mr. Belcher, how many people have signed up for public comment section 2?
We have 3 speakers.
Sorry, turned it off. The board president will recognize each speaker, and consistent with GP 4.4, comments will be curtailed if remarks or behavior becomes inappropriate. The board president may interrupt, warn, or terminate a speaker's statement that is unrelated to the business of school district, inappropriate for K through 12 students, or disruptive to an orderly, civil, and productive meeting. Thank you for your cooperation.
Our first speaker is Renee Phobes, followed by William Sawvell.
Do this, so sorry, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here because of Miss Sanders. I have no trust in her. The main reason is that she exposes dangerous cultures to our students. She's not reporting stuff like rape. She's not getting it processed through the Colorado Springs Police Department. And when it comes back, I have made a request to have a report done. There was no previous reports done, so she lied and said that there was, but there had not been one done. The parties in the rape case, she said she was aware of the rape case, but not everybody involved. My son has an IQ of 59. He was roped in by the female person accusing the other person of rape. Told my son that he had raped her, and since he was in cross country with her, that she wanted him to say that he had heard her say he raped her. She hid that. She did not do her mandated reporting. Everybody in that situation should face whatever punishments or whatever is required for not reporting that to the proper authorities and getting it properly investigated. When I read the report, there is inaccurate information in there. They never interviewed the students. It was per admin or per the counselor that they talked to. Nothing was researched by the parents. One of the parents that I talked to that was also in this never saw a police officer. The police report that I had done was the first one she had seen. She herself was still not totally aware of everything that had happened because she was not made aware of everything that had happened. And this is not the first time. The first time was when she left the doors unlocked for months. I told her in September there was a back door unlocked over by the trees in the row of doors. Nothing happened. By November, I checked again. It was still unlocked. In January, I threatened her job, and then something was done that day. Our whole student body and staff was left unprotected by her, knowingly. So
Thank you. Your time is up.
Our next speaker is William Sawvell, who intends to read from a book housed within District 20 school libraries. The book is titled How I Resist and is located at the library at Chinook Trail Middle School. It's rated as young adult, and the speaker did follow the process outlined in GP 4.4 and the public comment sign-up form. Before this comment begins, we do want to allow students or those who do not wish to hear potentially adult or sensitive content the opportunity to turn off the stream or leave the room. I'll give you a signal when we've waited approximately 30 seconds for those wishing to leave. As a note, while we wait, Brett Dayberry is on deck as our final speaker. Your comment can begin.
First and foremost, thank you, board. Matthew 7:22-23. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in your name? And then I will declare to them, I never knew you. Depart from me. Derek, you failed to mention two case laws, Troxville versus Granville and Mahmoud versus Taylor when it comes to parental rights. So just wanted to add that. So let's talk about bullying. 4 years ago, I challenged 5 CTMS books containing racist, anti-white, anti-American, anti-Christian, and sexually explicit content. Despite knowing ASD 20's kangaroo process would be unfair, I still sat before hostile, cherry-picked committees of teachers and community members. Peers and activist groups spreading lies multiple times a year like children to try and get my wife, one of your teachers, fired, and notifying others where my family lives. Community members who called me a white supremacist only to expose their own racism after learning I'm actually Hispanic. One even blurting out that my own heritage was invalid because of my lighter skin tone. Much like those who come up here every board meeting to label you, Derek, a black man, and you, Eddie, the husband of a black woman, racists. And one who wrote in an op-ed that this district had illegally shared with her my youngest daughter's FERPA protected information, which he intended to pass to other hate groups. All the while, I observed district administrators weaponize, manipulate, and flat out ignore IJL policies to continue exposing children to this filth, one of whom now sits here as your acting superintendent. Before I read from one of those 5 books, allow me to repeat Susan Field's justification for keeping How I Resist in a middle school. I find no evidence of pushing an agenda, just evidence of people discussing the experiences and ideas they hold. Page 19. Sure, I was writing fiction about people the Trump would hate, queer teens and people of color. We must fight against the threats of the Trump.
Our final speaker for the evening is Brett Dayberry, who will read from a book from a district library that's rated as adult. He has followed the process outlined in GP 4.4 and the public comment sign-up form, and we'll give it just a few moments for those not wishing to hear potentially adult or sensitive content to leave the room, given we've already waited 30 seconds to the prior comment. The book is titled A Court of Mist and Fury. This comment may begin. When you're ready, of course.
I want to start by wishing everybody a happy Title IX month. And I'll remind those with ears to hear that it was pride that got Lucifer cast out of heaven. In my public comments in June of 2024, I stated, quote, "So here we stand at the end of another year without resolutions to the library books issue. Now in June of 2026, I need to update that to so here we stand at the end of 2 more years without resolutions to the book issue." I'm the one that tried to challenge that book, and she scoffed at me when I read it. In December of 2023, I tried to challenge that book, but the policy was changed right beforehand. So I was forced to read it in a school board meeting. And at that school board meeting, I got thrown out because of what was in it. So I sued the district and won. So now we are able to read from library books to show how disgusting they are. To that note, he was in my mouth, my tongue flicking over the broad head of him. He nudged my legs apart with his knees, spreading me as he gripped my hips, tugging them up before he sheathed himself deep in me with a single stroke. I moaned into the pillow at every glorious inch of him. One hand cupping my breast as the other rolled and stroked the bundle of nerves between my legs, and I couldn't tell where one climax ended and the second one began as he thrust in and in. His fingers replaced where his mouth had been, pumping inside of me as he sucked. And I just handed out 16 pages from this book.
That concludes our speakers for this section.
Dr. Field, do you have any clarification or next steps?
Yes, I was wondering, Board of Education, would you like to add the Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, or famously known as CBOC, to Governance Process Policy 4.8? Board committee structure to list as the third committee moving forward?
I think that's a good suggestion. When we pull that up for the upcoming to look at, I think we will discuss that and make a decision as a team. Thank you.
Sounds
Appreciate
good.
that. Vice President Payne? Oh, no. Okay. Board of Education, do you have any clarifications or next steps? I will say that I would like to call up Administrative Policy IJLR2, reconsideration of library resource procedure for review at the next meeting. I think we know we need to redo that policy. Anyone else have anything? Director Tripp?
And then we were looking at 4.2. Or
Yeah, there'll be another section down below where I'm going to ask that question. Okay. Okay, very good. Director Weldrop?
Yeah, when we start to look at that too, I'm not sure if when we'll be able to work it in and start to take a look at there's another way to approach library policy. I know we keep hearing these things. We've had discussions about those things, but if we can have a way to start to bring those things together, look at different options in that time frame or sometime soon. So.
You're talking about the reconsideration process or the whole policy?
Then the library policy. So to take a look at how we approach the libraries and might be ways to be able to achieve Yeah, some of our goals, academic excellence, make sure the libraries are aligned with those things. Some might be in addition to
Yeah.
or separate from that.
Understood. Ms. Hatfield, do you have that? Thank you. All right, was our business this evening focused on activities that promote and honor our mission statement, our belief statements, and our global end statement that reminds us that all students will have the knowledge, skills, and character necessary for a successful transition to the next level, and upon graduation will be fully prepared for success? Did the board hear information tonight that would require the review or revision of policy? I will say GP 4.6, 4.2, because we need to add the December, April, May, whatever, 4.5, 4.8, 4.7.
Not 6, but 7. I think.
Did I say 6?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I stand corrected. The BOG agenda calendar. Anything else?
And then Dr. Field was going to get back to us about the JLDAC.
All right, very good. Let's see here.
Adding CBOC to 4.8, did you say that?
Yes. Okay. Did the board hear information tonight that would require a new policy? I don't think a new one, just revisions. Did the board hear information tonight that the board would like to include on future agendas? The administration policy IJL R2 reconsideration of library resources procedure and library policy. There are 32 attendees watching online. We do not need an executive session. This meeting is adjourned.